All to the deck. Stand attention, me crew. What I'm about to say stays between me and you. We will set sail, and we'll sail far and wide, and we will keep going until we all die. For I have a map to a treasure. It leads. This treasure, who all expectation exceeds. 'Tis a weapon of legends, the almighty Zarr, the cannon of gods. So give me a yar har har.
So, the Kuva Zarr. I never thought I'd see the day, but it is a glorious day indeed. Now, since this is a Kuva weapon, the only way to get it is by defeating a lich that's wielding the Kuva Zarr. And liches nowadays work basically the same as the Sisters of Parvos. You just exchange Corpus for Grenier, you change Sister to a lich, and you change out the candidate to a larvling. Now, the Kuva Zarr is a Master Rank 15 primary, cannon that does 50 impact damage with the actual cannonball on impact, and as soon as the cannonball hits something, it will also explode, dealing 673 blast damage in an area of 7 meters with 70% fall off. It comes with pretty solid crit chance of 25% with an above average 2.5 times crit multiplier, decent enough fire rate for a launcher, a reload time of 4.8 seconds, and really good 31% status chance. But that's only for the cannon mode. There's also a barrage or grape shot mode. Now this fires 10 pellets, kind of like a shotgun, and each pellet does 25 puncture and then 15 impact and slash. This has even better crit at 37% with still an above average 2.5 times crit multiplier, and the status chance is 9.7% per pellet, which is really good with 10 base pellets. Now, a few more things here. So for the cannon mode, the cannonball doesn't just explode and that's it. It instead explodes into smaller cannonballs that then fall back to the ground and do extra damage on top of what the cannonball already did. So while the explosion radius is 7 meters, it is realistically far more than that. And for the grape shot or the barrage mode, this is basically your single target damage mode. It's very short range, but the damage on it is insanely high. Also, while the reload might seem really bad, it's not as bad as it seems. It's still pretty bad, but it's not as bad because you load in one cannonball at a time and you can interrupt it at any time to start firing again. Next on the menu is the stagger. It is pretty bad. It's fairly easy to stagger yourself, so either be very careful or run cautious shot or prime sure-footed if you want to invest into it. And finally, the Kuva Zarr is of course a Kuva weapon, so it gains more capacity and you extract more mastery from it as you put on more and more Forma, up to a maximum of 5. So if you want to squeeze the absolute maximum out of it and unlock the ability to install a lens, you need to put in 5 Forma. But that is very much an overkill because you can easily run a full build with just 1 Forma, which for me was a dash because the Kuva Zarr comes with 3 Vs as standard. You can even push it down to 0 Forma if you're not gonna run Prime Fast Hands and an Exiles mod. But anyway, the build I ended up using ran Serration for damage, Split Chamber for multi-shot, Critical Delay for a ton of crit chance, and the negative fire rate really doesn't matter here because it's a rocket launcher or a cannon in this case. Then we have Vital Sense for crit damage. I would recommend some form of ammo mutation because you don't have a lot of backup ammo, so having any kind of ammo mutation is good enough in my opinion because it removes the chance for you to get unlucky with the correct ammo type, so it just converts everything. Then we have Prime Fast Hands, which bumps the reload down to 3.1 seconds, which is more than good enough on this kind of a weapon that loads in one shot at a time. Then we're gonna put on Hunter Munitions, which actually works really well with the Zarr because it's not just one big explosion, it's a big explosion followed by a bunch of small explosions, so you're gonna leave behind a ton of slash procs, and we top it off with Rime Round and Malignant Force for vital damage and status. Also, if you have Primary Merciless, put it on. Also, if you want to go for more of a big boom type setup, I would recommend something like this, where you go with High Voltage and Malignant Force instead, so you have Corrosive, and then you go in with Primed Firestorm instead of Hunter Munitions, though bear in mind this will not scale anywhere near as well as the other setup in terms of damage. It is really fun though. Now the damage on the Kuva Zarr, whether it is with the Cannon mode or the Barrage mode, is unsurprisingly very high. And it's actually one of the few weapons where I prefer a Hunter Munition setup over a big boom setup because the coverage, even without Primed Firestorm, is still really good. And it just, on both fire modes, synergizes so well with Hunter Munitions, it is ridiculously powerful. There really isn't much else to say for me here, like it's a cannon, you're running around with a handheld cannon and it does mad damage. It's just so cool and fun and ridiculous. I love it. So of course I'm going to recommend it. Go and get the Kuva Zarr. It's amazing. It's one of the most fun guns in the entire game, and it does great damage. Like, what more do you need? And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.